And we're live. I'm so sorry, everybody. I was waiting for the camera to show up, and it actually had started before I could even get started. So, hello and welcome. You are live with me, and my name is LauraJHall, and we are streaming live from my kitchen here in Daphne, Alabama. So today we are going to be making just a really simple side dish, but it has such an extraordinary range of, oh gosh, just complete usability. I mean, it's just going to be spectacular. So I'm going to share with you, we're going to go ahead and get these pots started. We're going to be doing a really vegan style stewed tomatoes in the InstantPot, and in the MEALTHY pot we're going to be doing just the traditional one, and really the only difference is the bone broth versus the vegetable broth. Really, that is the difference. But what I want to share with you, behind me, we have just another hour and 40 minutes left on our slow cooker. And so everything that we did in the slow cooker, we're going to actually do live on the show. So let me go ahead and show you what the slow cooker looks like right now. It is super hot, and it is boiling, and so we can actually take it down to low and slow once it gets to this point. So I'd like to show it to you first. This is on high, and so these stewed tomatoes have been going on for about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and so they're really at that bubbling stage. So now you can turn down the slow cooker to a low setting. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and hit stop here, and get it set to low. There we go. And I'll put the top back on. And these will be ready in about 3 hours. And what I love about having that high setting is that it can take away a couple of hours, but still you can cook low and slow. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our pot started. So you want to hit saute feature. Go ahead and hit start, and we're going to go to saute, start, and we are going to hit saute here. And while these are getting hot, we'll go ahead and drizzle some extra virgin olive oil in them in the bottom to coat the bottom of the pan. That just says, that's a signal saying that they are getting ready. Just going to coat that bottom of the pan. And I'd love to say I now am operating with 2 spoons, because somebody who called in on the show, she wrote me a beautiful message, and she said, you know, even though you're showing it for a demonstration, if you're truly cooking vegan and vegetarian, don't mix your spoons. So last week we made a black eyed pea. We did one that was completely vegan, vegetarian, and just like we did, we do every show. And then we did one that was more traditional style. And I used 2 different spoons. I used 1 spoon, and she's like, you really should be doing 2 spoons. So I'm going to go ahead and stick to doing that from now on. It was a great suggestion and so spot on. So I would love to hear from all of you. How many of you actually tried that black eyed pea recipe? I'm telling you, I think that it was the bomb.com. And if you missed that recipe, it's still on my Facebook feed, so all you have to do is scroll down to last Friday, and you'll actually find it. Okay, this is getting nice and warm. And so why I decided to do stewed tomatoes? Well, you can, once you get these tomatoes in their perfect, beautiful acid and alkaline state, I mean, it's, believe it or not, we're going to have just a beautiful blend of just so many flavors going on in the stewed tomatoes. You'll have so many uses for them. But what we love to do, stewed tomatoes, if we just do it as a side, we love to have it over spinach, we love to have it over rice, sometimes you'll do it over quinoa. It's just really, really wonderful. Stewed tomatoes go with so many things. But when you're making soups, or you're making some kind of a stew, having some great stewed tomatoes are just a beautiful thing to have. So they freeze really well. Let's go ahead and get started. So in my pot here, we're getting it nice and warm, and what we're going to do is we're going to start to cook the medley of, I have green and red pepper and 1 jalapeno, and I actually have some celery, and I have some onion. So if you're saying, hey, where is the recipe? Don't worry. As soon as we're done with the video, we actually have the recipe all written up, and we'll just type it in or paste it into the actual video. So I'm going to go ahead and put these into the hot mixture and get that going. So there were 4 stalks of celery. There were 2 small onions in here. If you have medium-sized onions, that's perfectly great. And there's a red and green pepper and a jalapeno. And everything that we try to cook with, we always strive to have organic, non-GMO, non-genetically modified organism. We'd love to have anything that we can get our hands on for organic, because it really does make a difference in how those ingredients affect your body. Okay, let me get these in to the MEALTHY pot. Ooh, super hot. I cannot believe we're already through almost the middle of January. And oh, by the way, if you're back watching live and you missed last week's show, Happy New Year to you. Okay. So what we want to do is get these cooking nice and saute until they're a little bit translucent. We want to try to get them to the translucent. So while they're steaming and sauteing here, we're going to go ahead and add some spices. So always what I love to do when I'm cooking, I love to make roasted garlic. Instead of using fresh garlic that is just straight from the clove, what I love to do is take some extra virgin olive oil or do avocado oil or extra virgin olive oil, sorry, and put our cloves in, and we bake them at 325 until they get nice and roasted and just so very flavorful. So this is what's left over from today. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and chopped them up, and they're going to go into the pots next. And in this one, in the recipe, I think I say 8 to 12. This one actually has about 15. Because I'm making this more of a traditional Italian style, so I know a lot of these stewed tomatoes that we'll be making will probably go into making a lot of Italian meals. And I love our garlic. We love garlic in our home. All right, so we've got the garlic added. And now we're going to go ahead and add in, we're going to add in the jalapeno. Actually, that was the green pepper that I saw in there. So this is the jalapeno. Oh, it's already starting to smell so wonderful. You're going to love how simple it is to make these. And I thought about this recipe when I was deciding how we were going to do it. I love to take fresh tomatoes that are when they're bountiful in August, and actually go straight from having a fresh tomato. But because they're really not bountiful and very flavorful right now, I thought this is probably going to be the better way to go. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to add some of these spices. So what we also have here is we've got some basil. There's about 7 to 8 basil leaves in here. There's fresh oregano. There's some fresh thyme. And we're just going to go ahead and add those in. Oh, those are cooking up so fast. Really great. Well, almost time to go ahead and turn off the saute feature. All right, we're going to go ahead and add in, we have some black organic pepper. And again, look for the symbol that says non-GMO, organic. And I typically go with the McCormick because those are always the ones that we have. Now you'll see that if you're new to the show, I don't actually measure my spices. I know pretty much what it's going to look like, and I don't think you need to spend as much time measuring everything out, especially if you know the spices and you're familiar with them and how your family loves them. Do a little more cumin in there. So this is cumin. Go ahead and show that to you. Ground cumin. All right, and so I didn't have, or did I? I guess I did. My husband was so wonderful. Yes, he's wonderful. We have some Italian seasoning that we're going to be adding. He went to the store for me and got some additional oregano. Because the oregano that I had, the fresh oregano, there wasn't very much. So we needed to add in just a little bit more here. So that's fresh oregano. We have some thyme. Again, the thyme was not as bountiful or as fresh. So I'm going to add in just a little more dry. And we have one of my favorite spices, Japanese 7 spice. And I love this spicy, it's got a little bit of a hint of orange and lemon extract and almost the lemon peel. And then it's just beautiful and just incredible spicy. Oh, it looks so wonderful. Again, I wish we had smell-o-vision. I know someday we'll have it. Okay, we're going to add in 2 bay leaves. That's a small one, so we'll go ahead and do 3 in that one. That's a nice large one. And a nice teeny one would be perfect. Okay. Awesome. These are actually done. The saute feature has worked beautifully. So you can go ahead and turn off your pot. Hit cancel. And we're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have some aged balsamic vinegar. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of it. I love the way balsamic vinegar smells. And we actually have some maple syrup. I'm going to add that last. So we're going to go ahead and get to the tomatoes. Oh, let's go ahead and do our vegetable broth. So the vegetable broth over here, we're going to add in a cup of vegetable broth. This is organic vegetable broth. It's one of my favorites. And the reason why it's my favorite is because it's organic, but also they don't add in any additional salt. So, and it's just all natural, no MSG. I just love Pacific broth. Whenever I can get it, that's what I'm usually using. And so we're going to do a cup of that. And then for the traditional, we're going to go ahead and use a chicken bone broth. Again, it's Pacific, it's organic. And we'll put in a cup in here. So how about you? What are your favorite meals that you love to go to? I love to create new recipes. So I'm looking always to hear from you, my audience, and share with us what you love. And you know, most of the time in the beginning of the new year, we see a lot of people are making resolutions for their health, and they're going to start cooking a little bit more healthy, and they're coming up with some recipe ideas that they can have at the house to just eat more healthy. So what is it that you're actually making at home, and what is it that you'd like to see me make that could be your one favorite thing, and how can we make it a little bit more healthy? Okay, so the next thing we're going to be adding is, in each of the pots we have some organic, non-GMO, non-PBA lining, and we'll talk about that in a minute, diced tomatoes, so we're going to do 1 can of those. And what I want to do is just show you what that lining looks like. It says non-PBA lining, non-GMO. So what does that mean? PBA. Well, PBA is an acronym for bisphenol A. And so bisphenol A, if you look that up, you'll see a lot of studies, and it's just a plastic lining on the inside of a can. And there's a lot of studies about how it's an endocrine disruptor, and it wreaks havoc on our bodies. So whenever you're buying a canned product, you really want to make sure that you're looking at what is it lined now. If you actually could find these tomatoes plum tomatoes and these tomatoes in the carton, those are actually the better ones to get, but I find that they are not organic. I have, at least at my stores. So now we're going to add in each of the pots 2 whole plum tomatoes. Just pop those in. Again, organic, non-GMO, and no bisphenol A lining. Grab this. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do is add 2 more ingredients. We just happen to have some wine that was never finished when we had some people over. And you know, you can do any wine, but I really like to use not a fresh bottle. I just always love to use, you know, something that you don't want to throw it out. It doesn't taste good to serve with a meal, but you also don't want to throw it out. So we're going to do a 1/2 cup of wine. This is just a cab, regular cab. And then that way it never gets unused and you don't waste. And it's an optional for those of you who don't like to cook with wine. It's not anything that you have to have. But if you don't choose to use any wine, what you're going to do is do a little bit more maple syrup. So we have some real maple syrup. And I always like to pick a maple syrup that has nothing else added to it. Okay, so you got to look at the back of the ingredients. If it says refrigerated after opening and it says 100% pure maple syrup, you're in business. Okay, so we're going to add in about 1/4 cup. I'm going to make it 1/3 cup. There we go. Smells so wonderful. This one is a Highland Sugar Works Pure New England Maple Syrup. Okay, I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir. And what I need to do is take my cooking shears and I'm going to snip up these tomatoes just a little bit, just to release some of the juices and kind of help the stewed piece get a little bit together. So I'm just going to take this snipping shears and snip them on the inside. Probably, if I had done it the way I did it before in the slow cooker crock pot over there, I would have done these inside the can. It's a little easier to do. You're just snipping them in half, creating a nice space of opening the tomatoes and opening the juices up. And that ought to do it. Okay, now you just need to get the tops, your lids. Such an easy recipe. All right, so this is for the MEALTHY pot, and this is the InstantPot. So make sure your ventilation system is in the closed position. And what you're going to do is you're going to set your pots to do manual at high pressure, and it's going to be for 10 minutes. And then what you want to do also is do a slow release. So I'll go ahead and set this for manual, pressure cook, 10 minutes, pressure cook, and I want to reduce that down to 10 minutes. And there you have it. Such an easy recipe. So what I would like to do is I'll be taking some pictures. I'll be adding them to the actual comments in the post. And what I would love for you to do is, in our community, we always say hello, who we are, where we're from. And we love to hit this little button that's on the right-hand side, and it says share. And so when you share this recipe, when you share it to the wall, you put it on your wall, and you share it with, and you actually, I've had a lot of people now who are sharing it to multiple places because they belong to different Facebook groups. So feel free, you can share it more than once, but share it to your wall and you'll get a chance to be entered to win MEALTHY pot. So that's just one of the things that we love to do, have some fun in our kitchen. I've heard a lot from many of you that, you know, you got your pot and you haven't done anything with it. You're afraid of the pot. You're not really sure what to do. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is to open it up, try one of my recipes. So if you want to know all of the places where you can find any of the recipes that I have created, it'll be on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is LifestylebyLauraJ. So hop on over to that page, take a look at the vast array of recipes that we have out there and shows. Some of those shows are from 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago. And we are repeating some of those because we were really learning how to do these. They're almost kind of comical. It's kind of fun. So some of those we are redoing, and we'll be working on getting those in this format so that they're a little bit easier to follow and the recipe is exactly right there in the comment section as well. So if you said hello, who you are, where you're from, and you hit that share button, we have an opportunity to see who our winner is. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Oh, I see some names fell out of the hat. All right, can't have that happen. All right, so I'm going to give it a stir. Give this a stir. Good luck, everyone. I just love it when we get a chance to pull a name and see who wins. Oops, this didn't go. Start. Okay. All right, good luck, everyone. Got my eyes closed, not even looking. Nope, nope. I'm digging to the bottom, I've stirred them around. Good luck, whoever this is. I have my hands on one. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Catherine Mitchell, you won. You haven't won in a really long time. Congratulations, Catherine, I'm so excited for you. Okay, well, I'll be sending you a message. And if you didn't win this week, please don't worry. Next week, there's always another opportunity. So, with that said, I'd love to hear from you. We have something that I'm going to share with everyone because, well, I have a few extra minutes, and we were totally on time, even ahead of time from when we normally air. And we're going to keep striving to get earlier and earlier so that all those people who are on the East Coast can see it before they head out the door for their fun Friday activities. But my question to you is, what if you had an opportunity to have a guaranteed result, not a resolution, but a result? What if you had a guarantee 10-pound loss in 30 days or your money back? What would you say about that? What would you actually do? Well, I know many of you know that I am a health coach, and our company that I'm associated with, that I have partnered with, they are offering that if you enroll before January 31st, you have a chance to have a guarantee of losing 10 pounds in 30 days or your money back. So what if this is a sign for you? Well, with that said, everyone, I want to wish you an absolutely beautiful, healthy weekend. And from my house to yours, lots of love, and we will see you next week with a brand new show. Have a great weekend, everyone.